How did Ghana, an economy that was thriving and felt to be a model for how a modern economy should work in the West African sub-region, become a basket case almost overnight? I traveled to Ghana to investigate, and what I found was shocking. A company, MTN, had turned itself into a behemoth and was politically dominating and economically exploiting Ghana through a series of monopolistic policies, to the extent that even Ghana's government almost buckled under. MTN took them to court, tried to force policies on them detrimental to their economy. It was a terrible situation, and if it happens in Ghana, it might spread to other West African countries and other sub-Saharan countries. Watch this expose.
MTN Enya free Ghana for it is crazy. And sometimes MTN brand, MTN is basically monopolizing the system. Now they have taken advantage of the market too much. It's all because government upon government ama MTN too much room to cheat the Ghanaian. So and then MTN anytime almost feel say they can increase price.
As it is now, all of us in this country are working for MTN. This is my market now. The small money I make to even make a phone is a problem.
Being a dominant player in the telco sector in Ghana, MTN has used monopolistic policies like the interconnectivity rates, which they arbitrarily set to squeeze out their rivals in the telco sector in Ghana. And not just that, because of MTN's activities, $2 million are leaving the Ghanaian economy for South Africa every day. Just think about that. Every day, $2 million leaving Ghana, which is almost distressed economically for South Africa. How long can their economy survive this before it collapses?
It is not enough for the government of Ghana complaining publicly about MTN's monopoly in our country. All talks and no action makes MTN monopolize more. They have squeezed out other telcos, including the state's own GSM network. In 2022, they made almost $1 billion from Ghana, monies that flew to South Africa. Enough is enough. Something must be done.
Like I call right now, they say cannot reach or switch off.
Okay.
Maybe that the person dealing off his phone. That's the tariffs we are facing. If you go for Southwest, like you are going to send money. I said the network is not good. When I went to market, when I shot, I send my phone to mobile money that I want to draw. They say there's no money. Last week, I went to Agomenya. My money has finished. I will finish there. When I go here, they say there's no money. When I went to everybody says they have money in their phone. That's the challenge we are wanting. We have marketing money. Because always our money is in our phone. If I want market and it's short, I have to pay. That's the challenge we are facing now. It's very, very important for us.
In January of 2023, the Ghanaian government hit back, branding MTN a monopoly. And not just that, they slammed a fine of $773 million on them. But guess what? MTN fought them in the Ghanaian courts. Unfortunately for MTN, the Ghanaian courts in November of 2023 dismissed their action challenging the Ghanaian government's authority to label them a monopoly and to also slam fines on them. According to the African Development Bank, the fastest growing large economies in sub-Saharan Africa are in East Africa, specifically Tanzania and Ethiopia. Ethiopia is growing at a rate of over 6% per annum. Tanzania is not far behind at slightly under 6%. And I traveled to these countries to find out why they were doing so well. And one thing I found out, MTN doesn't operate there. In those countries, their telco sectors are controlled by indigenous companies. Is that a coincidence? I think not. In Kenya, I spoke with a local activist, Bishop Haimba, and he had this to say.
Okay, the type of things that are happening in Nigeria and Ghana in the telecom sector can't happen in Kenya because our government is alive to its responsibility.
spoke with activists, chambers of commerce of industries, government officials, and unanimously they all told me, you know what, our economy is facing challenges, and one of those challenges is what you've been talking about, Reno. How can we address this issue? How do you call money in Ghana? Aha! So if you had a situation whereby there is truly a Commonwealth advantage, you know, we would do business within the Commonwealth and we would only go outside the Commonwealth for what we could not get in the Commonwealth. In search of solutions, I spoke to Mike Arnold, mayor of the town of Blanco in Texas. Now, this is very important because Blanco is a town that used to face some of the issues that are currently afflicting the Ghanaian economy. And he gave me this advice.
I don't know quite how to counter it, but, and I'm just going to be honest, there is a spirit of colonialism that still hovers over the nation. For some reason, Nigerians and West Africans in general seem to think that good things have to come from overseas, that if I make a lot of money, I need to move there, I need to go to school there, I need to buy products from there, because what we have in West Africa, Nigeria and Ghana, is not good enough for some reason. And I'm here to tell you as an American, that's not true. Nigerians have the ability to produce the finest goods and services in the world. And that's only going to happen in the long run when the local people buy local goods and services. If there's a telecom company or any kind of manufacturer where you have an option to purchase something made in your country, buy that, use that. That's how you're going to grow your economy. That's how you're going to emerge in global leadership. And I think that is the destiny and future of Nigeria. And but it's going to take all the Nigerians standing together and saying we are a nation, we are proud to be this nation, we have great things going for us, and we're going to manifest that.
While in Ghana, I met with fintech leaders, chambers of commerce of industry, and even government officials. And without mincing words, they told me, MTN is a problem for us. It's a monopoly. And back in January of 2023, the Ghanaian government slammed taxes and fines of $773 million on MTN. And guess what? MTN even took them to court in their own country, trying to bully them, trying to dominate them. If Nigeria does not take steps to protect its own indigenous telcos, Nigeria will be MTN's next victim after Ghana.